Thursday, April 4th, 2024, and I've got a best bet for you in baseball. I've got one in NBA, and I also got one in college basketball. This is the Free Three. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Rough start to the month, man. Yesterday was a heartbreaking day. I was like, you know what? I got to change it up. I don't know what's not working right now, so I had to shave the face. I had to come back fresh. Yesterday, 1-2 on the day. Miles Bridges three-pointer made. We cashed in on that. But the losses were so heartbreaking. The Cubs run line, they were up 8-0 in that game. The final score, 9-8 or 8-7, something like that. And the run line doesn't hit. Cavs Suns over. Both of the teams only scored 24 points in the fourth quarter apiece. If they even score 30 points, we go over. The final score ended at 222. We had it at 226. They literally just need to score 2-3 more points apiece. We would have gone over, but we ended up losing there. So it just sucks. It's just been heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss. 1-2 on the day. Our slow start to April. You can see our year-to-date record right here. But listen, we're still over 500 for the year. We always start off a little slow. I don't know what it is about these beginning of the month. If you stick with us, I promise you we're going to turn it around. And if you want to be here for the long haul, make sure you smash that subscribe button and like this video as well. So this way you guys can stay up to date on all the latest picks and plays. All right, my friends, now let's dive into these best bets. For my first best bet of the day, we're going to head to the NBA card, and we're going to go to the Knicks and Kings matchup as the Kings are headed to the Garden to take on the Knicks. And these are two teams right now who are battling for playoff positioning. Like I said yesterday, the playoffs really matter now at this point in terms of seeding. And let me break down a little bit what's going on. The Knicks, just a week ago, were the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. As of right now, they're the 5 seed. That's right. The Magic have overpassed them now for the 4 seed. And if the Knicks are not careful, they're only about 2 games ahead of the Heat. They can literally fall from 5 all the way down to the 8th seed because the Heat and the Pacers are tied for 6th and 7th. So listen, the Knicks have to turn it around. They've dropped 3 straight games, and I don't know. We'd have to see what's happening for them. And on the other side in the Western Conference, the Kings right now are in the 8th seed, but they only find themselves a game up on the Lakers right now, who are the 9th seed, and they're only a half a game back from behind the Suns and the Pelicans, who are the 6th and 7th seed, and only a game back from the Mavericks, who are the 5 seed. So now the Kings, they themselves have a lot to play for in this matchup, as both of these teams are fighting for seeding and positioning. And as a result, I think that defense is going to be the name of the game in this matchup. So give me the under 215.5 minus 110 odds here. Now, we guys know this is an angle that I've been exploiting all year. If you've been a fan of the channel, if you've been tuning in consistently, we have been taking Knicks unders pretty consistently, especially when they're at home, as they've been an under team to the home at this year. Now, over the last several games, though, the Knicks have actually trended upwards to the over, and that might be the reason why they've been struggling. In the last 10 games, they've gone over in 7 of the last 10 games, but on the other side, the Kings have gone from an over team where they were 34-40 to the over this year. Now they're an under team. They've gone 2 of 8 to the under over the last 10 games. So you're probably wondering, why is that? Well, maybe because, again, the games matter a little bit more, so defense is a premium, but also because of the injuries that the Kings have been dealing with. Malik Monk has gone down, and also Kevin Huerter has gone down. Both of those guys are big offensive weapons for the Kings, but they also are big defensive liabilities. Now that both of those guys have been shut down for the remainder of the regular season, we have seen the Kings' defensive metrics have gone up. Why? Because it has now allowed Keon Ellis and Davion Mitchell to get more playing time, and these are 2 guys that are more defensive-minded than they are offensive-minded. When you look at the Kings' defensive rating, in the 8 games without Huerter, the Kings have posted 110 defensive rating. That's 5 points better than their season-long average, and that's why they've gone 7-1 over the 8 games that he was hurt. So for me, this is just a matchup where we know that teams that play at the Garden tend to go under. The Knicks are 12-26 to the under at home, and also coming off the fact that the Knicks have lost 3 games in a row, I feel like Thibodeau is going to be inside that huddle, inside the locker room, saying, you know what, guys, we have to get back to the name of our game. We're not outscoring teams, so because of that, we have to start getting back to our bread and butter, which is now getting down to the defense and the nitty-gritty. And I also think this is a big advantage here, or a big concern, because Josh Hart is questionable in this game as well. And if he is questionable, one, you might want to take a look at Miles McBride's points. Right now it's like 16.5. You may want to take a look at that because that's going to mean more offensive scoring that the Knicks are going to need. But 2, if Josh Hart doesn't play, that's a huge defensive member that is missing from that team. And the way that I look at it is like, again, the Knicks cannot get into a shootout with some of these teams. We've seen them try to do that lately against the Heat. That game went over, they lost. OKC, that game went over, they lost. The Spurs, that game went over, they lost, right? So because of this, they have to be able to now say, let's get back to our bread and butter. This is really a must-win game for the Knicks because, like I said, if they don't start winning a few games, they can find themselves that would have gone all the way from the 3 seed all the way down to like the 6, 7 seed. And that's big time, especially when you keep in mind that the 7, 8, 9, 10 seeds are the teams in the play-in tournament. And I know for sure with the injuries that the Knicks are dealing with, they do not want to play any extra games. They want to get Anunoby back. They want to get Julius Randle back. Mitchell Robinson is still out here in this matchup. So for me, I'm going to go with the defense in this game at the Garden. It's been a trend that we've been exploiting over and over again. Both of these teams have been trending under a little bit lately. The Knicks at home, the Kings over the last 10 games, and the Kings are also 12-23 to the under away from home as well. So I really like that. So give me the Knicks and Kings under 215.5 as our first best bet of the day. For my second best bet of the day, we're going to head to the college basketball slate, and it is a championship game of the NIT. And you guys probably know who I'm going to go with. I've been backing this team consistently each round of the NIT, and there's no reason to go away from it here. We're going to go with Indiana State minus 2.5 over the Seton Hall Pirates. That's minus 115 odds. Make sure you shop around there. The lines already move from minus 1.5 all the way up to minus 3 on certain books. But I really like Indiana State in this matchup. I don't know if you guys watched that game against Utah. It was close in the first half. Indiana State pulled away. Why? Because Indiana State has that Poen offense, but also at the same time, it's literally a home game for Indiana State. Like I mentioned, this game is played at Hinkle Fieldhouse, which is in downtown Indianapolis, where the Butler Bulldogs play. And if you watch that game on Tuesday between the Utah Utes and the Indiana State Sycamores, every time Indiana State scored, the crowd erupted. I mean, it was an absolutely amazing atmosphere, especially for the NIT, which is not something that you expect a lot of people to be tapped into, a lot of fans to show out. But the Indiana State faithful, you guys know that from back in the days of Larry Bird, this is a very passionate fan base, and they came out in full support of their team. And now that they're in the finals, I'm expecting them to do the same exact thing. And now Seton Hall now has to come in. I don't think their fans travel from Jersey to see them like that. And as a result, I think this is a matchup of differing styles. And I'm going to go with the home team here in quotations, and that's Indiana State here. Indiana State has the much better offense. You've heard me talk about their metrics before. Number 1 effective field goal percentage, number 1 2-point percentage, number 3 3-point percentage. That's the reason why they were able to drop 100 points on Utah and win by 10 points. Now, they're not going to be able to score as easily against Seton Hall, which ranks the 35th best defense in the country in terms of defensive efficiency, but we know this Seton Hall team struggles offensively, and that is, to me, the big concern. I know there's some sharps right now who are under in this game, and I can see that as Seton Hall will probably try to dictate the tempo and pace, but for me, the way that I'm looking at it here is that if Indiana State can make this attract me, even if they can hit enough three-pointers, that is where Seton Hall is going to struggle, because I don't know if they have the scoring to be able to keep up with what Indiana State can do and how they can really spread the floor and really shoot the ball. Now, obviously, Shareem Holloway is an excellent coach there at Seton Hall. He's going to have his boys ready to play, and they're going to play tough all the way up until the final buzzer. KenPom has this as a 1-point win for Indiana State, and I can see this coming down to a last-second possession, but for me, we're under that key number of 3, 4.5 here, so it gets down to a free throw, missed shots, and at the end, I like Indiana State to get it done. They're at home in this matchup behind their faithful. They want to show the committee, hey, you got to give us mid-majors some more love when it comes down to the selection committee, and I think this is a good opportunity for them to do that in a big tournament that does get some recognition in the NIT. Give me Indiana State minus 2.5 as our second best bet of the day. For my third and final best bet of the day, we're going to head over to the MLB slate, and we are going to go with a player prop. I got my pitcher, my boy right here, Michael Soroka, and we're going to go under 16.5 outs, minus 125 odds. Now, the image here has him with the Braves hat on because that was the team that he played for last year. He no longer is on that team. He's actually on the Chicago White Sox, as the Chicago White Sox are playing the Kansas City Royals today. This is the only late game on a limited baseball slate. First pitch around like 7:50 or something like that. And this is just a fade on the White Sox and also on Soroka as well. If you want to go with the Royals first 5 on the run line minus half the run, I'm not opposed to that as well. But this is the thing. Soroka got banged up pretty rough in his first outing of the year. He played the Detroit Tigers last Saturday, and the White Sox lost that game 7-6 in extra innings. But Soroka only 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks. That ain't going to get it done. And I think the Royals might be a little bit incentivized in this matchup because they blew that game last night against the Orioles. They were up 3-0 heading into the 8th inning, end up giving up 4 runs in the last 2 innings, and as a result, end up losing that game outright. So for me, I think this is a game where the Royals are going to be excited. They're going to be ready and eager to play. They have the better offense, and I just don't think Soroka is going to get enough run support here, and I think the Royals are going to be able to get to him early for a few runs, and as a result, we just don't need to see him get into the 6th inning. That's why we're taking the under the outs here. If he pitches into the 6th inning, he has to go 6 1/3 for us to lose this bet here, because 5 innings, 3 outs, that's 15, right? And that's what he pitched last time. So for me, I don't think that he gets into the 6th inning here against a Royals offense that's right now ranked in the top 6 in the major leagues in terms of runs scored in the first 5 innings. They're actually averaging about 3.5 runs in the first 5 innings, which is going to get it done against a White Sox team that's ranked in the bottom 5 in the majors in terms of runs scored in the first 5 innings. So for me, I think the Royals with Bobby Witt Jr., the way that they've been playing, Salvador Perez. So for me, the way the Royals have been playing, Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Maikel Garcia, they have the offensive weapons, and I also think that this is a Royals team that should win this AL Central. In all honesty, I mean, it's pretty competitive. You got the Guardians there, you've got the Twins there, obviously you've got the Tigers, who are pitching good right now. They started off 4-0, had a few rainouts, but I think this is a slow start for this Royals team that have had some high expectations, and I think they can turn it around here against a White Sox team in this series. So give me Michael Soroka under 16.5 points, as this is more of a play on the Royals and on their offense in the first 5 innings. If you want to take the first 5 run line, be my guest. If you want to take the Royals on the money line full game, be my guest. Or if you want to put them in like a parlay with maybe the Warriors on the money lines, I do think they beat the Rockets today. You know, you can kind of play around with that. But I'm going to fade Michael Soroka here, as he was absolutely tagged by a Tigers team that is not the best offensively. Now he has to face a Royals team that's been hitting the ball really well. So I think that's a good fade spot for him as well. And one more point that I also wanted to bring out. Last year he was on the Braves. He only pitched in the majors for 7 games. He only went into the 6th inning 3 times. He went under more times than he went over. That was another thing that also got me over the hump to say, let's just fade Michael Soroka here rather than taking the first 5 run line or anything like that. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that are headed your way on this Thursday slate card. We're taking the Knicks and Kings under. We're also going to go with the Indiana State to cover the spread in their game against Seton Hall. And then we're going to wrap it up with Michael Soroka under his pitching outs here. And those are going to be our 3 best bets of the day. If you want more picks and plays, player props, things that I'm dropping out today, click the link in the description, join the free Discord group, and I got y'all. All right, my friends, let's continue to get to that money, dictate your fate, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, gang.